Nuts are a very healthy snack that provide us with lasting energy just by consuming a small amount. They contain a multitude of nutrients, they're very versatile and easy to consume. That's why, as an athlete, you can't leave them out of your diet. In this video, we'll tell you everything you need to know about nuts, how to conserve them to take full advantage of their properties, and even give you an easy, original, and tasty recipe. The history and characteristics of nuts. There are many varieties of nuts, the most well-known being walnuts, hazelnuts, almonds, pistachios, chestnuts, cashews, Brazil nuts, macadamia nuts, pecans, pine nuts, pumpkin seeds, and sunflower seeds. I bet you guys thought I forgot about peanuts, but they're actually part of the legume family. That being said, we've included them in this video because they share a similar composition with nuts. The consumption of nuts dates back some 700,000 years, coinciding with the start of agriculture, with the majority being native to Asia, except for the Brazil nut, whose origin is in the Amazon, the pecan in North America, and the peanut in South America. Nuts belong to the nuts and oilseeds group, oilseeds being a vegetable species that, like its name indicates, has a high oil content. Nuts are often categorized as dried because for the most part they contain very little water. They are covered with a shell that protects them from external aggressions and oxidation, even after maturing and harvesting. Nutritional value, properties. We mentioned earlier that their main component is oils, but they also contain protein, vitamins, minerals, and trace elements, among others. We will look more closely at each and every component. Fatty compounds. Fatty acids are their biggest component, at least 55%, which gives them a significant caloric load, some 500 to 700 kilocalories per 100 grams. Nuts with the highest fatty acid content are macadamia nuts and pecans with more than 70% fatty compounds. However, these fatty compounds are very healthy, given that 75% of the overall total are unsaturated, like omega-3 and omega-6. Walnuts have the best fat per weight ratio, and peanuts have the worst, since they barely contain any omega-3. The properties that unsaturated fats provide us with are the following. They protect and ensure the proper functioning of the nervous and cardiovascular systems. Prevent blood clots. Reduce triglycerides. They are a substrate that efficiently obtains energy, so their accumulation in fatty tissues is easily reversible, unlike saturated fats. Act as anti-inflammatories. Help to transport oxygen through red blood cells. Help repair DNA. Maintain a healthy intestinal flora. Phytosterols are plant compounds similar to cholesterol that regulate the absorption of saturated fats, improving your cholesterol levels. They protect the nervous and cardiovascular systems and play a role in preventing cancer. Almonds offer us the highest quantity of phytosterols. Protein. As a whole, nuts do not provide us with a complete protein except for pistachios. Even so, by eating a healthy, balanced diet, we receive the necessary amino acids for tissue growth and to maintain homeostasis, among other functions. The most abundant amino acid found in nuts is arginine, which is considered semi-essential as some of it is synthesized by our body. Nonetheless, it is known for playing a key energetic role as it is the precursor to creatine, a compound without which the Krebs cycle cannot be carried out at the mitochondrial level to release energy. Enabolizing muscle mass and other tissues. Protecting the cardiovascular system thanks to the stimulation of nitric oxide. Inhibiting the absorption of saturated fats, which helps in the fight against obesity. Peanuts win the gold medal of protein with 25 grams per every 100 grams, followed by almonds with 18 grams per every 100 grams. Macadamia nuts have the least amount of protein with just 10 grams per every 100 grams. However, with respect to arginine, almonds have the highest content. Complex carbohydrates. Generally speaking, they have a low amount of complex carbohydrates, around 15 grams for every 100 grams. They're very interesting given that they provide us with good blood glucose regulation, which is essential for proper muscle and brain functioning, long-lasting energy, satiation, and help us with protein assimilation and assist in serotonin synthesis. Vitamins. Group B vitamins are the most abundant vitamins in nuts and are very important in ensuring proper muscular, cardiovascular, and neurological functioning. In addition, they help prevent anemia and promote tissue synthesis. They provide us with around 30% of the recommended daily amounts of B vitamins. Vitamin E is the second most abundant vitamin found in nuts. It's a good antioxidant, working in synergy with other vitamins and protects the cardiovascular system. Hazelnuts and almonds have the highest vitamin E content with 26 milligrams per 100 grams, which correspondingly is more than 100% of the recommended daily amounts. Chestnuts have the lowest vitamin E content. Vitamin C is important in collagen synthesis in that it protects the blood vessels, preventing clots, and has an important antioxidant effect. Generally speaking, nuts have very little vitamin E except for chestnuts, which are relatively rich in the vitamin with 17 grams per 100 grams, around 12% of the recommended daily amount. Glutathione. Glutathione is a protein compound formed by 3 amino acids, glutamate, cysteine, and glycine, which is synthesized in every cell in our body to protect against threats and is considered the most powerful antioxidant in the human body. Its synthesis is limited if your diet is not rich in amino acids that make up the compound, most importantly, cysteine. Additionally, as you get older, your ability to synthesize it deteriorates. Nuts are richest in this compound. Minerals. Nuts are rich in calcium, magnesium, and potassium, which are necessary for muscle contraction, increased energy efficiency, and maintaining adequate bone mass. They also help regulate blood pressure and improve nerve impulses. We'll see which nuts are the most rich in each of the following minerals. Calcium. Almonds contain calcium, and in fact contain more calcium than some dairy products. For every 100 grams of almonds, they have 260 milligrams of calcium, some 30% of your daily recommended amount, compared to a 100 milliliter glass of milk, which only contains 110 milligrams. Magnesium. Sunflower seeds have the highest concentration of magnesium, with 250 milligrams in just 100 grams, rounding out 100% of your daily recommended amount. Potassium. Pistachios have the highest amount of potassium with 1,000 milligrams per every 100 grams, around 33% of your daily recommended amount. Trace elements. Selenium. Aids in antioxidant functions. Maintains the thyroids in good condition. Boosts the metabolism. Strengthens the immune system. Improves fertility. Brazil nuts provide an enormously high amount, wherein 100 grams provide more than 9 times the daily recommended amount and are considered the food with the highest amount. With that being said, it's important not to overconsume the nut as it can actually cause intoxication. Consuming just 2 Brazil nuts a day is sufficient. Iron is fundamental in transporting oxygen to the muscles to obtain energy. Prevents anemia. Is involved in immune system functions. Aids in muscle growth. Pistachios have the highest concentration, providing 8 grams of iron for every 100 grams consumed, corresponding to 15% of the daily recommended amount. Polyphenols. Polyphenols are excellent antioxidants and have anti-inflammatory properties. They also help to regulate the immune system and protect the cardiovascular system. They are mainly found in the skin of nuts. Fiber. Nuts provide a great amount of insoluble fiber, leaving us feeling satiated, promoting intestinal transit, and balancing our microbiome. Hazelnuts have the highest content of fiber, around 14 milligrams per 100 grams, and is mostly found in their skin. Phytic acid, also called inositol and hexaphosphate. Phytic acid is a compound with a large amount of phosphorus found in the skin of nuts, which acts as a defense against outside threats. It is considered an anti-nutrient, as it impedes the absorption of minerals, trace elements, and proteins at the same time that it inhibits the functions of certain digestive enzymes, resulting in them not being digested if consumed in large quantities. But it also provides us with benefits, as it is a good antioxidant, glycemic regulator, and an anti-carcinogen. Almond skins are richest in this compound. Conservation. The best thing to do is to keep the nuts in their shell until right before consuming them, because when exposed to the outside air, they tend to oxidate quickly, which in turn activates their defense mechanisms. By using their own antioxidants to protect themselves, their antioxidant content level diminishes and is therefore lower when it actually comes time for you to eat them. At the same time, they can go bad because the fatty acids will be devoid of the antioxidants that also protect them. If you happen to be someone who likes to eat them peeled, it's prudent to store them in a glass jar in a cool, dark place, because the natural fats in the nuts that come in contact with plastic, heat, and/or light can contaminate the nuts with endocrine disruptors. They should also be consumed within a few days after peeling. Pre-peeled nuts sold in supermarkets are a bit different because their manufacturers are required to glaze them with an antioxidant oil for preservation. It is also true that there are some nuts, such as cashews and Brazil nuts, that require special peeling, making it practically impossible to find them with their shell still on. With that being said, they are the 2 nuts that hold up the best when peeled. Ways to eat them, with or without their skin. As we already mentioned, nuts' skins harbor many interesting compounds while at the same time being home to anti-nutrients. The balance between both varies with each nut, which is why it's best to alternate between eating nuts with and without their skin. An easy way to peel them is by leaving them in boiling water for a few minutes and then removing them and immediately rinsing them with cold water. Then you'll see just how easy it is to remove their skin after trying this method. Raw nuts or toasted? Toasting them gives them a peculiar flavor, as it activates aromatic compounds which can make them more appetizing and, as they become crunchier, more addictive. They can be toasted with their shell on, like chestnuts and peanuts, or without it. Toasting 10 minutes in the oven at 130 degrees Celsius and then allowing them to cool will help you to easily remove the skin. The drawback in this process is the exposure to intense and prolonged heat, which will induce the destruction of fatty acids and antioxidants. Excessive roasting will also affect the carbohydrates they contain, producing Maillard molecules, which are substances that are harmful to the body. On the other hand, heat disables certain allergenic proteins such that they are better tolerated by people who have nut allergies. Activation. The process only works for raw nuts and is similar to what you can do with legumes. Soak them in warm water for about 12 to 24 hours, changing the water 2 to 3 times. With this method, the anti-nutrients found in the skin are released into the water and germination is stimulated, meaning you will see a small sprout start to form, which is the germ. By eating them this way, you will increase their nutritional potential. Salt and sugar. Consuming nuts lathered in salt or sugar will increase their caloric content and imbalance your glycemia and blood pressure. In conclusion, every athlete should include nuts in their diet, unless of course you're allergic, because with just a handful, they'll provide you with many benefits. They're a good option for both healthy snacking and as a recovery food after a workout. The best ways to consume them are raw and activated, alternating with lightly toasted nuts as well. They are very versatile as you can eat them alone, as a paste, or combine them with, for example, a piece of dark chocolate or some dried figs. And that's all for today. See you in the next video.